Sarah, Jessica Parker. How are you, mate?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Well,
We're
listen, I'm
good.
good. Usually I only get Zoom calls from my parents. This is literally the most exciting Zoom call I've had.
That can't be true.
This is very exciting for us. Probably not as exciting for you, but how are you, firstly?
No, it's very exciting for me, but am I crazy? Haven't we done this before, though not on Zoom?
They're not
Have I
on...
gone?
Who, us? The three of us before?
Well, I've not spoken to you on the radio before. Have I just made up this whole experience that never happened?
Well, listen, if I forgot talking to Sarah
I
Jessica
feel like I would
Parker...
remember that, but maybe I wouldn't.
Now, let's pretend we're old friends.
It must have been two other scintillating, interesting people I was confusing you for.
Well, listen, whoever they were, you've definitely downgraded with this interview, Sarah.
No,
I'll
no,
tell
no,
you
no,
that.
no, no, absolutely not.
No, we're very excited. Firstly, though, how are you at the moment? Obviously, a strange time in the world with a virus going around. How's things?
Things are fine. We're well, we're okay, so we feel very fortunate. It's getting scary again. That's just the truth. It's getting scary, and the numbers are rising, and here we are again. It's sort of like Groundhog's Day, but
Yeah, so you're in New York at the moment.
mhm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what is the city like a ghost town at the moment, or is it most people have left, or?
It's upsetting because on the whole, the city is not functioning the way we want it to, and people are hurting, businesses are hurting, people are sick, and it's a it's a it's a very it's a very unpleasant time in lots of ways. I mean, there's lots to be hopeful about and lots that we're excited about, and we feel that as everybody does, I think across the globe, that a vaccine will be enormously
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
the antidote to so many problems. But until then, we have a lot of people hurting economically and physically, and it's a worry. It's a worry.
Well, listen, I'm sorry. We started this
We started
interview
it going
on a
into-
bleak note.
We did.
I'm so sorry.
We're so sorry we put you there. Okay, we're moving on from that. Let's
Have
get
a
one.
drink. Let's have a drink.
Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, how do you go from starring in TV shows, movie shows, to teaming up with a Kiwi company like In Vivo and making two wines?
They ask.
You ask.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Nice. What time is it there?
It's lunchtime here.
Lunchtime. So we've got jam jars here because apparently
Right.
you like to drink out of jam jars.
You know what I do, and I didn't bring mine in the room because I thought enough people have seen enough jam jars, and I tried to class it up a bit with a proper
Oh, we've
juice
got both.
glass.
We've got a juice glass. So what are we trying first on this virtual taste testing?
So I'm drinking this Sauvignon. What are you all drinking?
No,
The Sauvignon.
can we tell you the honest truth? We just got off another Zoom call with the In Vivo people, and this is the first time I've ever preloaded for an interview. We're 6 wines deep here,
Yeah.
so if I start crying and opening up to you, you'll know why.
He's got some issues he's going to bring to you later.
I'd be honored. Let it rip. Lay
Okay.
yourselves. I got a call from my agent, which is pretty much the standard operating procedure, and they said there are these two gentlemen from New Zealand, and they have this business, and would I be interested in partnering with them? And I was confounded. I couldn't imagine why they'd ask me, and I didn't even have a reputation at that point as being like a wino or anything, or having consumed too much or too little. But I was curious because I didn't understand what I could possibly contribute to professionals in the wine industry. But they were nice enough to let me talk to them and to share a lot of their experience and knowledge and wisdom and enthusiasm, and they talked me into basically learning. And as long as I felt that they were willing to share what they knew, I would feel less of an interloper. And you've just spent time with them. I've had the pleasure of spending a lot of time with them. They're incredibly
Amazing, yeah.
wonderful men. I'm so fond of them, and I've enjoyed the process. It's been enormously informative. It's been an education. It's been enormously fun. I love the wine. I've learned about your country in all sorts of wonderful ways. The next step is visiting, obviously. So I'm awfully glad that I had the courage to say yes, and that they were persistent about me doing so.
So you're not out there like stomping on grapes with your feet or anything like that? Like, how involved are you through the process? Because I understand you're quite involved in selecting.
Well, I'm always involved in anything that I that I say I want to be part of, because I just think it's, for me, the most honorable way to do things. So, and I said from the beginning that was important to me. And obviously there's lots that I don't know that I'm learning that I shouldn't be involved in.
So you've got here, this is the New Zealand Sauv Blanc.
From Marlborough, yeah.
And you got a French rosé as well, Sarah Jessica. Is that what? Yeah, that's what you're having at the moment. Yeah, this is.
I'm having the Sauvignon Blanc. I didn't know where to start. So
well, no, we kind of got some.
Are we all reaching the bottom by the end of this?
I feel like we're really like, yeah.
This is it. But you're also on the board of In Vivo
as well.
Yes, isn't that funny?
Yeah. So yeah, how's that go back? So that's in America, right? So the In Vivo board in America.
Yes, and I'll just be honest. I mean, thus far, it's not really been very taxing.
Okay.
Yeah, great. And you're quite the entrepreneur as well. You're hocking off shoes. You got bags.
Yeah.
You got the wine as well.
I'm not hocking off shoes.
Yeah. I feel like that was really downgrading what you're doing.
I have a company. We're 6 years in business now. We are a very small shoe company. Our shoes are all handmade in Italy. It's a very small company that I own with my partner. It's a very small team, and we work really, really hard. And we have 2 stores in New York City now. But I would be hard pressed to say that I'm really like a shoe hawker. I work really hard, and I work in the store, and work really hard in the store, and
awesome.
And in the offices. But
you had bags as well, and it said on the website you'd be carried away, and I thought that was a great pun by the bags. Was that something you came up with or not?
We have a backpack that is yes, it was hard to.
It was good.
It was hard to not do that.
Not to go there with that.
It's a fantastic backpack. I carry it everywhere. It's the truth. And Oprah picked it last year as one of her favorite things.
Oh, wow.
That was a big accomplishment for a little company like ours. But it's a great backpack. What can I say?
Yeah.
Can I get my friend? Can you go and get your back? Can I get him to show you his backpack?
Yeah, I'd like to see his backpack.
I don't have to see my back. Okay.
This will lower him in your standards. Yeah, no, okay. So he wanders without a word of lie. He wanders around with this backpack.
It's the Toy Story 4. Toy Story, yeah, like it's a heck of a movie
that's
franchise.
So charming. Was it free?
It was free, of course. It was free for
I have
the movie
kids, and
company.
everyone goes, "Is that your kid's bag?" And I'm like, "No, it's my bag. I like Toy Story."
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that bag, unless that's a subtle message that you would like me to send you.
A Sarah Jessica Parke.
Yeah, well, that's what I was angling for. That's why we're doing this, right?
I can compete with a free Toy Story.
The amount of movie merch this guy's living off. He's got Sex in the City underpants on too.
Now, of course, we saw you were doing a virtual wine tasting or blind blending virtually, and you were taking the piss out of the New Zealand accent. So what do you think of the New Zealand?
I feel like I wasn't taking the piss out of it. I think, first of all, I love the accent. I love your country. Someday you'll have me, and
I'd love to have you here.
Hopefully,
if you quarantine for 2 weeks in the Jet Park Motel,
yeah, they're fine.
We'll take you. Okay.
Yeah. I've heard all about it. I've heard all about that motel. But I think it's a very hard accent to imitate, and I did it poorly. And I can't remember what word. Tim,
it was like blended, I think you were saying, or blended.
What was I saying? Blended?
Blended. Yeah, it was blended. The wine is blended. Yeah. We're quite lazy when it comes to speaking. I think we just kind of go, no one really cares what we have to say, so we'll just mumble it.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, yeah.
Nobody cares. You also said 6 in the city. You don't say sex in the city. You say 6.
6 in the city. Like the number 6, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
A lot of people get quite confused when we say, come and have a party on our deck. Which is how the decking outside of your house.
Yeah.
Why don't you just change to come and have a party on our terrace?
Terrace. Yeah, terrace. That's good.
Our balcony.
Yeah. As a lover of puns, we were quite disappointed. One of the newspapers in New Zealand pointed out you should have gone with Sav in the city. Why did you not?
I know. I should have.
Yeah.
I heard that. I heard that earlier today.
Today.
I heard that earlier today, and you're absolutely right. And if I was more mercenary, I would have thought of that myself. But we're much more pure. This is a very pure endeavor.
Yeah. Now, every interview in New Zealand at the moment, we always like to ask about our Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. Yeah, it's like we want to know what everyone overseas thinks of Jacinda Ardern. It's basically, we get newspaper headlines. Sarah Jessica Parke said this about Jacinda Ardern, so we're going to go there. What do you think? What do you know about our Prime Minister?
It'd be very funny right now if you said something really controversial.
I don't think she's going to.
I think, here's the thing that I think is so not remarkable because it's the way she conducts herself. I don't know that one could find something controversial to say about her. I think she's extraordinary. I mean, listen, I'm getting news from far away. I'm not paying as close attention to domestic news as you would.
Listen, you guys have got stuff going on there.
You got some stuff going on.
Yeah. But I will say she's incredibly impressive. And I think because politics today feels very much dictated by what is what people will respond well to. She just seems so much that she is that she governs from kind of a place. It's a very different way of governing. She sees something that she thinks is wrong or is harmful or isn't safe, and she simply does something about it. And there's a much longer process in our country to getting to that point. We see, from the outside, see something violent happen in your country that is unthinkably upsetting, and she just simply does something about it. And it's such a refreshing way of handling. But she's handling crisis, and she just seems so completely confident, and I think she's respected. I'm sure people disagree with her policies. I'm sure they disagree with choices she makes, but there is such a kind of stability to her approach to governing that is admirable. And because she is a woman, it makes it, for those of us who are women, it's just it's very inspiring to see somebody lead with authority and a sort of a conviction. She seems awesome. She is I don't know, she has the courage of her convictions, and it's quite something to witness from the outside.
Do you know what the stupid thing about New Zealanders? I don't know if it's stupid or the adorable thing about New Zealanders. I was getting an Uber away from the airport the other day, and her prime ministerial car pulls up next, and you wind down the window, and you're like, Prime Minister, and she winds down the window, and she's like, hello.
Because we've interviewed her a few times, we've been lucky enough.
Awkwardly, we had that thing where you kept stopping at the traffic lights, but she was still next to me, having to awkwardly. And the Uber driver, he was like, she's just waving at the car. This is the greatest day of my life.
But it is New Zealand. Everyone knows everyone. Yeah.
I mean, that probably also is, I think, it suggests something about her, that she's very, I don't know, human. She has I don't know, she seems like the woman in your class that you can talk to, but also that you might aspire to be like. Have you heard about our election lately?
Yeah. It's been we have been watching.
No, we've heard no coverage over here. What's happening?
There was a joke I was reading on the internet the other day, because we like cricket in New Zealand. It's a sport, and it takes 5 days for no result, and that's been like the election in America. It's just keep dragging on and dragging on. Yeah, so that's we understand where you're coming from. It's like a game of cricket.
I haven't heard anything about it. What's been happening over there?
I think it's all been.
You've been locked out. You've been locked down with twins. How's that gone?
They're very pleasant.
Yeah?
And
I mean, not always, nor am I.
They become more pleasant with the more of these?
Yeah.
Yes. If only they would drink.
And your husband, is it 23 years you guys, Matthew Broderick, obviously have been together? That's amazing.
Yes, I think we're married. I think we're married 24 years. I think we'll be together about 29 years soon.
Wow.
That is incredible.
28 or 29 years, yeah.
That's awesome. What does he think of the wine? Is he a fan?
Loves it.
He
loves it. He actually asks, and I'm very careful because I don't actually have just a sort of limitless supply. And we cook a lot. And he cooks a lot. And he's always like, hey, can I use a little bit of that? You don't touch that for cooking. Don't touch that for cooking.
You'd be pretty stoked.
Very much.
You'd just be getting boxes and boxes of wine, wouldn't you? Get a plentiful supply.
Well, we don't have a lot of the first, once it's gone, it's gone. The first one, the grapes are gone. So I've been treating it like so I know I don't have a lot of it. I'd rather give it to people in order to buy it, then
Then give it to your husband.
He's like, he'll sink
I
the
don't want
business.
to I don't want to be selfish about it.
Yeah, no, I understand. You got bottom line to worry about. That's right.
Yeah,
What were the girls from Sex and the City? What would they think about your wine? Because they were cosmopolitan fans, weren't they?
Carrie drank cosmopolitans. I think did Samantha drink martinis? I don't remember. I mean, I think they would like it.
They'd enjoy it, yeah.
Pardon? Oh, you mean the real people?
Well,
or
no, one of the
actors?
characters. Probably the characters. I don't. What have you?
He thought it was a documentary.
Was that not? Oh, really?
Yeah, no. So Sarah
were
was
they acting?
playing a
I thought
character.
this was Carrie Bradshaw. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
it's like pantomime in your country.
So you're not a journalist that writes for? Okay, all right.
I'll
So
talk
the butcher, the local butcher,
Yeah.
he says, "I'll play Santa this year."
I gotcha. Okay.
Right? It's like that.
Oh,
We
wow.
got together a bunch
This
of
is-
friends and we pretended to be other people.
Eye-opening. This is eye-opening.
I think
Well,
they
you said online it was as exciting as the final script of Sex and the City, getting the wine sent to you. You were quite as excited. Now, that was pretty exciting, obviously.
It was because the blending.
The blending, the blending.
Is one thing, and I'm sure that Rob and Tim are more articulate about. So this thing happens in the blending, but then it goes back and it becomes sort of more voluminous, right? But between that final blending and sort of reaching our destination point and that bottle arriving, I was like, will it really be what I recall?
Yeah.
And so I was very, very nervous and excited, and I wanted to crack it, but I was also terrified that I couldn't take it back. And once I drank it, I was going to have to say something. I couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
Like I wanted so much to like it as much as I liked it in that process. And I was really I love this wine. And it's an award winner. This wine keeps winning awards.
I know, because you sold, not hocked off. You sold,
Yeah, not hocked
you
off.
sold,
Not hocked
not hocked off.
off.
You sold 500,000 bottles in the States, which is incredible.
It's incredible. That's amazing.
But you know why?
Because
the
you're
wine-
Sarah Jessica Parke.
No, it has nothing to do with me. I
Okay.
assure you, and I'm not feigning some. It sold that much because, and sincerely, it's so freaking good.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
really good.
truly great. It's done right by your country and the idea of like the Marlborough region and what that means, and it's a gorgeous one. It is a gorgeous wine.
Sorry to bring up Sex and the City because you must be just sick of talking
No,
about that.
I'm not sick of it at all.
Because I feel like it was such an iconic show, such a massive show. And I was just going to say, when I went to New York, I spent 4 hours walking around New York with my wife, who was the biggest fan, to find the outside of Carrie's apartment, the what they use for the outside. I was just
Carrie
like,
Street.
this step looks like it. Surely we could just take a photo. It's like, no, we need to find Carrie's step. I was like, 4 hours of my life. And I got quite grumpy by that. But anyway, it's just that shows the level of the show and how great you were on that show and how much it just resonated with people all over the world.
Thank you. I wish you told me in advance. I could have directed you right there.
Oh, yeah. It was just
What he's wanting is an
Find
apology.
it?
He's wanting an apology from you for wasting 4 hours of his trip to New York.
yeah. So thank you for that.
I owe you 4 hours.
Oh, hey, no, it was worth it. Hey, we got to talk about that.
But you did find you found the real one on Perry Street.
I
Do you
think
know?
I think so. Amanda, my wife, was happy, so I think so. So I feel like we did, but I was like, every step looked like that to me. But she was just
No,
yeah.
a stoop is a stoop is a stoop is a stoop,
Yeah.
unless you're looking for Carrie Bradshaw's stoop, and then those people cannot be. You can't pull the wool over
No,
their
exactly,
eyes, so to
exactly.
speak, no.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parke, this has been an absolute honour. Do you know
Yes.
what I've got to go and do now? I've got to go.
that?
I've got to go to my kids' athletics day, and I'm going to be very rowdy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, kids.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. Really, truly, I really appreciate it. And I'll never. And now when I see you again, it'll
Yeah.
be nice to see you again for real.
We'd love to have you in New Zealand sometime, or hopefully in the next couple of years. It'd be great to have you here.
It'd be a thrill.
Yeah,
It'd be a
We'll
thrill.
blend some wine together.
I would. We can do anything. Whatever you want. Thank you for having me.
You, Matthew, and the kids, you can doss at our house.
Yeah, it's
as
fine.
long as you quarantine at the Jet Park Motel, you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Understood.
Cheers, Sarah
Understood.
Jessica. Lovely to talk
Thanks
to you.
so
Take
much,
care of
fellas.
yourself.
Be well. Be
See you,
safe.
mate. See you,
My
mate.
best to everybody.
Jono and Ben, New Zealand's breakfast on the hits.